and then up in the passing position, even further up just beyond that, and then comes down again. So I've got up in the passing position. So far I've got going up in the passing position, up I can see, and I've just select the body. I can see I haven't keyed it, so I'm just going to key the translate down again so we can see this. Translate on this. I'm going to drop this down. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a bit of animation on the body now. So here at the start frame we'll have it like so. This is the body control. I'm leaving the legs for the time being. I'm going to have the same key in frame 25, so I'll go to frame 25 and I'll key here. And then I'm going to look at the passing positions on this diagram. The passing positions are in red. Now I know here it should be coming up slightly, so I'm going to pull it up on the passing positions, which are 7 and 19. So I'm going to go to frame 7. I'm going to pull it up a bit, and then I'm going to copy the frame 7, copy, and I'm going to go to frame 19, and I'm going to paste the same one in frame 19. Now we also know that the height of the height of the body is the same at 1, 13 and 25. So presently I've got it the same at 1 and 25, but what about 13? So I am going to copy this frame and go to 13, oops, I don't want that there, and go paste, and that will drop it down. So what we have now is the body goes up and down and up and down, yeah? Down. And then we've also got this bend, and this is the thing about Maya that you have to be wary of. When you're setting keys, you have to remember Maya will simply animate between whatever keyframes you have. So here, when I went to frame 19, because I wanted the leg bent for the passing position, Maya has just interpolated. It has made this bit here rotated in the X from 19 all the way back to frame 3. Now I don't want any rotations in this X-axis until the foot comes off the ground at frame, well, and certainly, and it can start after frame 13, but I don't want it on at frame 13. So at frame 13 I'm just going to press the keyframe and I'm going to drop this down because I don't want, I don't want that. I want the foot like, and I also don't want this translating upwards. I've made a key here, so I'm just going to pull this down. So on frame 13, the foot goes like this. So it goes that way, it comes back, and then you have the foot coming off the ground, and we'll get this working. So to recap, what you want to do is, first of all, you want to get this moving in the Z. So here we've got it moving backwards, and then it comes, it comes forward again. In terms of how much it comes off the ground, here it is on the ground until frame 13, and then it comes off, and then it comes back again. So what we have is this, and we've got these, it seems, doesn't look very realistic in the body bouncing up and down, Right, okay. So now what we're going to do is have a look at the way the foot comes back. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press in this one again, and we're going to look at, so it's on the ground to 13, up to frame 13. But let's have a look at what's happening at frame 16. The foot is kind of still quite far bent back. You've got a real bend in the leg. So I've got a 16. What I'm looking for is for this foot to be more bent, yeah, backwards. So I'm looking for this kind of shape. It's almost kind of coming off the ground, maybe bending a bit more. Maybe something like this. Yeah. So you've got that, 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 and then that. And maybe here, this is we can just lift this foot up a little bit more. Maybe bend this slightly more in. So you've got that, that, that. And also, so that's it. So we've got this, like this. And then we've got the foot bending, yeah, like that. So that. Now, you'll notice when the foot comes to land on the ground, it doesn't land the way that we have it. On frame 22, the foot is here. The foot is still bent forward this way. It kind of swings out and lands. So frame 22, if I was to go to it, which looks very different from this frame. Look at this 22. Look at this shape, and look at what we've got. We want this foot slightly higher up, like so. Maybe a little bit further back. Maybe angled slightly further forward. I'm just going to take this frame. I'm trying to get a nice even look to this. And then we're going to, so it's going to be like that, that, that. So we have this. Yeah. This kind of, people tend not to lift their feet very high off the ground when they're walking. Okay, so this is kind of quite basic, but it seems to be working. Okay, so we've got this. Right, now I'm just going to save this. File, save scene as Monty Walk VO1. Okay. So, yeah, so we got that. Again, we just move this one back. We make sure we've got keys. Remember, you don't want Maya to do your interpolation for you. So I'm going to take this key off here. I'm trying to get some nice smooth shapes. So here. Now, while the foot is on the ground, we want the character stride to be at a constant rate. So the foot is on the ground here from frame 1. This is when the heel touches the ground, to frame, I actually think we should make it on the ground until frame 14. So I'm going to make another key here. I'm just going to pull this down. Because normally, now look, you see the way the line has gone straight? Well, what you want is you want a straight line for the curve. A straight line means a constant speed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this away here, and then I'm going to break this tangent using this V here. I'm just make sure this is straight. And then this line, this kind of looks pretty straight to me. I could break the tangent here to make it straight, but it might not be necessary. Just by looking at this line, this looks relatively straight. It might be, a subtle change there, but more or less. So you've got this. Now it doesn't matter if, when the foot is in the air, it doesn't matter if it's going at a constant speed. In fact, normally it's better if it doesn't, because our feet don't really travel when they're off the ground at a constant speed. Often we pull the foot faster past towards the passing position, and it slows down as you're about to put the stride down. And of course it varies, there's no hard rules for this, but I'm going to try and do that. I'm going to speed it up. So here I'm going to have a little bit more. So I'm going to take this off. I'm going to speed it up past the passing position, and here, so we've got a bit of an ease. So it's going to go faster off the ground, and then it's going to slow down. So that's what's happening in the Z axis. You see, it's a bit faster as it's going forward, yeah? That's the Z axis. Bit faster. How about the Y for this foot? Well, on the Y, you've got it going forward. It's on the ground, it's on the ground. That's why all the points are until 13. 14, it's kind of coming off, but it's still just about touching. I could pull it down a little bit there. I might be breaking it. I'm going to also do something on 14. The leg is very straight, so I'm going to use the toe roll and just bend that in a bit. Look, if I pull it, see, no, not too much there, just to get a bit of a bend. So they've got the toe roll there, and I might bring the toe roll back a bit. The thing about when you're using keys, I don't want the foot like this though. So what I might do is I might straighten this up. In the Y, sorry, the rotate X, I might make this 0. Oops, not like that. Edit, undo. Let's see if I just make this. I'm just going to make this 0 a minute, and I'm going to drop this down slightly. Okay, and then I'm just going to bend this a little bit more. I can see his foot's going through, which is a bit annoying. And I can also use the toe roll, not the toe roll, is it the ball roll? Ah, maybe that's it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take, what I'm going to do is I've got the toe roll on this where I should have the ball roll. See, they're slightly different. The ball roll gives me what I want. The toe roll, I'll just take it off. See, it's very easy to press the wrong thing. The toe roll rolls the actual toes. I want the ball roll, so I'm going to take the ball roll here and I'm going to move it up slightly. Now this should give me what I'm looking for. If I let's see, so I'm going to use this for the ball roll. That's coming off, and now I can use the toe roll on this just to get a bit of bend in the leg. If I can get the toe roll going. Can I get some bend in that leg? There we go. Well, it takes quite a bit. There we go. So there's a bit of bend. So move that back a little bit. To give it a couple of frames, maybe not that far back. So then we've got that and then that. Right? So forward, it bends. You have to be careful not to, so that the leg doesn't look like it's snapping bend, because then it will pop. So I'm just going to get the toe roll in a little bit here. Not quite. Let's see. Maybe it's probably easier to do in this. I'm just going to pull this up very slightly. No, maybe it's the other way. Oh, is it there? Just slightly. So that, and then off. Then it's coming back. Okay, so that looks about right. Yeah, that seems quite nice and smooth. Don't worry too much about these finessing things. That looks like quite a smooth action to me. You have to work in it until it seems to work. Okay, so that's what we've got so far in the side view. Now I'm going to go into the Y translate now, and I'm just gonna, what I'm going to do is, as the foot comes down, it's coming down very lightly. I'm going to make it come down a little bit